Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome. Friday, February the 6th, 2026. I am Chris Phillips. This is the Chris Phillips Show here on a Friday. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your weekend. We got a jam-packed show today. Lots to get into. Some really exciting stuff as we sit just 1 week away from opening day for those who are keeping count, which I'm sure is many of you. It's also Super Bowl weekend. It's a huge weekend in sports, by the way. We've got the Super Bowl. The Olympics are starting today. We got the Waste Management for my golf fans out there. Like I mentioned, this is the last weekend without college baseball, if you can believe that, until, the end of June, beginning of July. So really exciting weekend, guys. Exciting day here on the Chris Phillips Show. And again, we appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. As always, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts all across your favorite social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And as always, powered by our friends over at UNDERDOG. Download the UNDERDOG app today. Use promo code SECU to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Once again, that is the UNDERDOG app, promo code SECU for $75 in bonus entries today. Guys, really quickly, we had some technical issues on Tuesday. Had some technical issues. Maybe it was because I was outside in the snow. I have no idea. But if you guys are hearing any crackling of the microphone, please let me know. It is about that time to get a new mic. This puppy is going 5 years. A little bit over 5 plus, almost 5.5 years strong now. We are going to be upgrading the setup, really just getting a new one of the same. But if you're hearing any like static or crackling or any noise like that, please let me know. We can make a mic switch mid-show. I'd be happy to do that. I would love to know. I did not know on the show on Tuesday that was an issue until someone told me after the fact. So okay, maybe I don't know. Maybe it just was the snow. I have no idea. Maybe it was the cigar. I have no clue what it was. I see y'all in the chat. I see Joy saying, will he be on time? Listen, I left being late back in 2025. I even told our people, believe it or not, like when we launched this new network, hey, I've been pretty lenient about it before, and I'm not saying we're never going to be a minute or two late again, but let's stop making it a habit. So I made it very clear to my people. Listen, I know it's a running joke. Even like yesterday, for example, I had a situation I'll tell you guys about with my Airbnb. This is how silly I am sometimes, right? Sometimes I just have a brain fart. My brain's not functioning, brain's not working. So I am back in Nashville. I see my guy David Speaks. Are you back in Nash Vegas? Yes, we are back at HQ. We're back in the studio in Nashville. Had a great time in North Carolina on the slopes. I got my fill, but it's time to get back and lock in. So I had my Airbnb booked till Thursday. Well, here was the problem. The checkout was at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and I booked this a few weeks ago when we didn't have glue guys operating at that point. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, my Thursday's open, whatever. Just did not plug two and two together. I was like, oh, crap, where am I going to do the show? So I booked another Airbnb for Thursday night. What I did not realize or think about when I booked it was the fact that the check-in wasn't until 3 o'clock Eastern. So I had to message the Airbnb and say, hey, please, can I get in early? I've got a meeting or I've got something to do at noon Eastern. I need to be in there. Shout out to this Airbnb host, whoever this person is. By the way, the Airbnb was sick, but shout out to the Airbnb host who was gracious enough to let me in at like 11:45. And all I could think about, which he wasn't even in the chat yesterday, all I could think about was, God, if I'm like 20 or 30 minutes late, I'm never going to hear the end of it from Chinook in the chat. Like I'm never going to hear the end of it. Second episode of the season, and we're going to be late. And I was like, I can't have that happen. So we made it work. We started on time. I'm very proud of that. And again, we are taking pride in being on time. Also, yes, the baseball helmets in the background. Hey, it was time. Listen, I knew I was going to catch flack. If we got glue guys up and running and we still got the football helmet. This is the only way to really make the baseball helmet work. It's got to be tilted at a downward angle because if you got it up, you cannot see the logo. So I'm going to try to kind of revamp the setup behind me too. I want to add some new stuff. I mean, this stuff's very professional and classy, I guess, but we got certainly room for growth and room to add some different things, play around with the setup, if you will. But again, guys, really appreciate you all tuning in. Some really exciting news, by the way, when it comes to us. I've got a meeting on Monday with the Simplecast folks. Everything is essentially, it's not all set up, but all the contracts are signed and everything. So Monday, we're going to be getting the feeds for all of the podcasts set up. So, which is really exciting because it's going to get you guys more directed to the content that you all love. So the Chris Phillips Show, Glue Guys, The Layup Line, Chewing Clock, SECT, all going to be on their own individual podcast feeds. There's also a lot of content, guys, that we haven't been distributing via podcast because I didn't want to put it under just the SEC unfiltered podcast feed, if you will. For example, we've done a lot of team-specific previews when it comes to baseball. I haven't even published those via podcast. Of course, they're all on YouTube, but I haven't done that. When we get these feeds up, we'll be publishing everything to its direct feed. So again, just getting you directly to the content you all love and enjoy when it comes to podcasts. I know YouTube numbers, obviously, these days dwarf podcast numbers, which that itself could be a topic on this show. It is fascinating to me that YouTube has dominated the way it has versus podcasts. And I genuinely would love to hear you guys' thoughts as a consumer, because I have a theory on that, because I'm to a degree a consumer as well, and I was a consumer before I was a producer. I've got a theory on why I think YouTube has overtaken podcast. I think we have gotten to a place where our attention spans are so little, our brains are so fried at this point. You know, it used to, like, podcast was great because, hey, I'm on the go. I can listen to this while I'm on the go, while I'm driving, while I'm commuting, while I'm on a walk, while I'm working out. I can be doing something else and be listening. I think we've gotten to a place where our attention spans are so short, we cannot just pay attention to audio. We need to be captivated visually to see it. Think about content when it comes to, like, video content used to be just enough, right? You could post a video clip and that would capture someone's attention. Now you have to have text overlays on the video. You have to have images on the video. Heck, sometimes you need to have video on the video, if that makes sense. It's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, I just think the attention spans, we live in such a TikTok culture now. Like, again, when I started back in 2017, it was all about podcast. You know what I mean? Like, YouTube was obviously a thing, but I mean, I built my business solely off of podcast. I did not even start executing on YouTube until I was almost 7 years into it, if you can believe that or not, which is actually crazy to say, but I just didn't. I don't know. So, like, I think it's fascinating that we've gotten to such a place where it's like the audio's not really enough to captivate people, and people are going to YouTube. Again, I have no issue with it. I have no problem. I think it's fascinating the way content evolves, and it kind of makes you think and wonder, what's next? Is video going to be enough in 5 years? Like, are we going to be doing something else? You know, the one thing I do hope goes away is AI. I know my guy Matt's in here. He's going to agree with me with it. I'm not an AI guy. I'm not a Chat GPT guy. I know it has a use. I understand, like, it's not going away anytime soon. It's probably only going to continue to grow. But I'm not an AI guy. I'm not. I see there's social media pages out there that people are making content solely via AI, and I think it's disgusting. I think it's terrible. I think it's absolutely terrible. Matt, I can just tell you, no, I do not have a Zen in. I have not eaten today yet because typically I'll fast till like 2 o'clock, and I don't like throwing a Zen in before I've had food because I will feel like complete shit. So I do not have a rally pillow in. The batting helmet is AI. Yeah, the batting helmet's dead. That it can't be real. It can't be real. Listen, you might recall we got this last year for the trip to Hoover and then took it to Omaha, what have you. So I can assure you it is very real. I'm excited that we actually get to start a season. We get to start a season with the batting helmet. This will be coming on the road with me everywhere. We got a very, very, very busy February. We'll be dropping the first SEC Unfiltered Tour graphic, I suppose, of 2026 next week, announcing our travels. Again, guys, you tune in to the show, you tune in here, you get to hear things before others, if you will. So in a couple weeks, and again, if you've been paying attention, this probably isn't a surprise to you, but in a couple weeks, I will be in Jacksonville, Florida for the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic. Really excited. Those folks have been really good to us. You might even actually recall, again, if you've been paying attention, they came on the show, I think it was like November, late October, to promote Live Like Lou and the collaboration they're doing. So really excited to link up with those folks, be back in town for the tournament. Obviously, we'll get a look at the Bayou Bengals. The LSU Tigers will take on, Indiana, Notre Dame, and UCF. That's going to be a really fun weekend. Was at that tournament last year. Hopefully, it is a little warmer than it was last year because that Friday game was frigid. That Friday game. By Sunday, it felt nice. That Friday game was frigid. Jacksonville's always a movie. That's just flat out bottom line. Jacksonville's always a movie. It's always a really good time. Yeah, I'm expecting to get chirped by LSU people, no doubt. I'm expecting to get chirped by them. More on that in a second. And then the following weekend, really pumped. We'll be going to Arlington, going back to last year, I guess we went to the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Same thing, but different. The Amagi College Baseball Series. Really pumped for this weekend, guys. It features Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Texas A&M. We've also got Arizona State, Virginia Tech, and UCLA. So we're really going to find out who's who throughout the non-conference and in those tournaments. It's going to be a lot of fun. So really excited. Going to be hitting the road. The batting helmet will be coming with me. Big Sully guy, Matt. Big Sully guy. Big Florida guy. Gators in Omaha. So, yeah, for those who may have missed it, I mean, you guys might have seen, if you paid attention to the topics today, we are going to talk SEC baseball head coach rankings, which on that note, I actually need to upload the graphic. We'll get to that later in the show, obviously. But LSU fans, I might win back some of your favor today, but I will say, LSU folks, y'all crack me up because it's like, I don't feel like predicting a team to miss Omaha is like that crazy. Like I just, it's literally baseball, like we are fans of a game and we love a game where Murray State can make it, where Coastal Carolina can go to the final, like to insinuate LSU people. Jay Johnson has brought the program to a place to where not only do LSU people think you're wrong for not picking them to go to the College World Series and win the whole thing, they are insulted by the fact that you would even have the idea that they might not go to the College World Series. They are insulted by that idea. I mean, listen, Jay Johnson has the best and the toughest job in all of college baseball because, my God, I can't imagine going to a super regional is a failed season, but it is in Baton Rouge. If you don't get to Omaha, and hell, I'd probably say this one, if you don't win the whole thing. If you don't win the whole thing, Jay, you had a bad year. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck to you. All right. I promise, guys, we're going to talk more SEC baseball. We got some other stuff to get into. SEC baseball head coach rankings coming up later in the show. We will have a graphic to go with it on social media a little bit later today that I'm really excited about. Always a really, really fun conversation, and one that, like I mentioned, it really gets people going on social media. But before we get there, guys, we do have the Super Bowl this weekend in Santa Clara. Seahawks and Patriots. I know we did this exercise on Tuesday, but I want to really, really quickly just remind you guys and run through my underdog picks. Number one, the audio sucked for that segment. And number two, some of these numbers have changed. And also, I want to throw in what the odds are here for this. So, This segment brought to you by our friends at Underdog. Download the Underdog app. Use promo code SECU to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Got 3 plays for you, higher or lower, $100 to win $529. That's what I'm playing it at. You want to go higher, go higher. You want to go lower, go lower. Play what you can afford to lose. But here's the kicker. This thing ain't losing. 100 to win 529 with our friends over at Underdog. We're going to start with Patriots quarterback Drake May, higher than 38.5 rushing yards. His rushing ability has been a key for the Pats all season long. I think that continues in this football game. Sam Darnold, Seahawks quarterback, higher than 233.5 passing yards. I think both quarterbacks are going to have really effective days. Sam Darnold had one of his best games in the game to punch the Seahawks ticket to the Super Bowl. I think that continues. Give me Sam Darnold higher than 233.5 passing yards. And finally, Sam Darnold's going to need somebody to dish the football to. Give me Cooper Kupp higher than 33.5 receiving yards. So we're going higher, higher, higher. 100 to win $529. Lock it in. Let's get rich on Super Bowl Sunday. And once again, download the Underdog app. Promo code SECU. $75 in bonus entries. When you play your first $5, you could just play $5 on this, and it's going to hit. And you're going to win, and you're going to get bonus entries. Drake May, higher than 38.5 rushing yards. Sam Darnold, higher than 233.5 passing yards. Cooper Kupp, higher, 33.5 receiving yards. Lock it in. So those are my Underdog plays. If we probably will add some more that I'll feature tomorrow and even going into Sunday. As far as the game goes, even if you don't like football, which nobody in here doesn't like football, but even if you don't watch football or don't watch the NFL like that, everybody's got a Super Bowl pick. So you guys let me know who you are picking for the Super Bowl. Let me know who you're picking. Really quickly, I want to highlight this comment. $2 super chat from my guy, Carter United. See you soon, my guy. Vegas. Is this Philip Carter Harris? Is this Phil? Is this Phil Harris? How about it, man? Appreciate you. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Yeah, that's the other trip I forgot to mention to you guys, by the way. I will be going to Vegas next weekend. Valentine's Day, I'm flying to Las Vegas. That really says a lot. Vegas, Valentine's Day. Going to be there for a wedding that, ironically enough, is taking place on a Tuesday. So it's going to be a weird week to say, hey, you do midweek how you do midweek. I'll be doing the first midweek of the college baseball season at a wedding. So how about it? Let's see. Carter says put $5 on Patriots to win the Super Bowl before the season started. How about that? Love the pick. Love the pick. Chinook says, give me the Pats. Give me the Pats. He also says, in the words of the sheriff, red 18. Red 18. Red 18. Yeah. I see all you LSU folks taking it personally when it's your second home. I get it. I understand. Matt says Baton Rouge North. I get it. No, listen, Joy makes the point. I want LSU in Omaha. That's the funny thing. I didn't pick LSU to go to Omaha, and I want them there. Like, I had an LSU fan say, like, let's make a wager. And I'm like, I hate to make a wager against a team that I want in Omaha. I want LSU there. Like, my co-host played at LSU. You think I don't want LSU in Omaha? Of course I do. Of course I want that for Renato, Mikey Matuk, myself, all of us who will be there. Hell yeah, I want LSU in Omaha. So, listen, somebody's got to balance you LSU folks out. Y'all can't just have everybody riding y'all's jock going into the season. There needs to be some voice of reason. Somebody's got to be willing to play the devil's advocate. I'll do it. I'll fall on the sword. I will fall on the sword for the sake of that. So, let's see. David Speaks says, my old lady's from Vegas. How about that? So David, this will be my first ever trip to Las Vegas. First ever one upcoming. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Thankfully, I got a buddy in Nashville who knows his way around, knows people out there. Obviously, my guy Phil's going to be there as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Here's the funny thing. I'm not a big gambler like that. Like from the standpoint of like card games and table games, I'm really not a big gambler. Like, I like to bet on sports here and there, obviously, play with our friends over at Underdog. Like I like to do stuff like that, but I'm still not throwing around a ton. I get my competitive rocks off in other ways. I don't need to like throw down buku bucks. You know what I mean? I just don't need to do it. I feel like too, like most of the card games are rigged anyways. I know you can go there and I'll probably play some penny slots and shit, but I'm really not. I'm not a gambler like that. Like, yeah, I'm not going to come back from Vegas or be in Vegas, but guys, I lost 10 grand last night. That's just not me. It's just not me at all. My guy Carter United says the fall of Carolina baseball needs to be studied. Yeah, no kidding. It is wild how far that program has fallen, picked to finish 15th in the SEC. Again, guys, going back to the Super Bowl really quickly, Seahawks are a 4.5-point favorite. The over-under is set at 45.5. I'm going to go Seahawks straight up to win the football game. However, give me Pats plus 4.5, and I like the over 45.5. I think the Pats keep this a close game. Everybody I've seen talking about it saying it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a blowout. I think the Pats are going to give them hell. I would not be surprised if the Pats won. I will go Seahawks straight up, though. Let me get a final score. Let's go 30-27. 30-27, I think the Seahawks get the win. I think they avenge the previous Super Bowl matchup when they should have just handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, but I like the Seahawks to get their revenge over 10 years later and beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold and company get the job done. I like Seahawks money line. I like Pats plus 4.5. So give me the Hawks. Give me the Hawks. It does have a weird vibe, though, of like, oh, God, the Patriots are back. We're back to the Pats being the Pats. First Super Bowl post Tom Brady, by the way. David Speaks, I've seen you ask this question like 5 different times, so we're finally going to get to it. Is Josh Elander going to hit 15 SEC wins? 15. Dude, 15, it's crazy. 15 is a low number compared to what Tennessee has been doing. Very low number. I'll tell you this, though. I think if I was setting an over-under win total for Tennessee, y'all tell me if you think I'm crazy, I'd probably say 15.5 is a really good number. Because guys, listen, Monday's show, Monday Glue guys, Anthony Renato and I are going to lock in our predicted order of finish. So you guys are going to get a really good gauge of where we think or what we think teams are going to do. I do think Tennessee is going to take a step back this year. Listen, that team is talented. Do not get me wrong. They're going to smash the baseball again. Like, I'm not saying they're going to be a bad team. But I'm sorry, you do not lose Tony Vitello and Frank Anderson and not take a step back. I don't care how good of a coach Josh Elander is, man. He ain't Tony Vitello. He's just not. Like, and if you say Tennessee's just going to keep chugging along, do what they've been doing, you're giving Tony Vitello no credit for anything he did. You're giving Frank Anderson no credit for anything that he did. Doesn't mean Josh Elander wasn't the right hire and wasn't a good hire. But, we're talking about filling the shoes of a guy you could have argued was one of the best coaches in college baseball. I won't say the best. LSU fans, don't cut my head off, but one of the best in college baseball. One of the best. So I think they take a step back. I'll tell you this. I'd be a little surprised if they dipped below 15 SEC wins. 15-15 is about right. I could see 16-14. But here's the other part of this. Guys, they struggled last year with Tony. They went, 16-14 last year with Tony? And you're telling me they're not going to take a step back at all? So, does he hit right now? If you told me gun to head, does he hit 15 SEC wins? I'll give him 15. I will say 15. 15-15 feels about right. 15-15 feels about right for Tennessee. It does. I'll say he hits 15. I will. I'll say he hits 15. It's really not this year I'm worried about for Josh Elander. It is the long term. I still ask the question, what does Tennessee baseball look like without Tony Vitello? Because Tennessee baseball pre-Tony Vitello was non-existent. I mean, it was a sad existence. It just, it was not a – Tennessee was looked at as one of those series. You're kind of like, hey, we got Tennessee on the schedule. That's 2 wins, and hopefully it's 3. Like that's a series dub. That's a series we look at. Like there's series that you look at where you're like, we need to sweep. We'd like to win the series, or, hey, let's just make sure we don't get swept, right? Depending on who the opponent is and where it's played. Tennessee used to be looked at as like, hey, we should win the series and let's get the sweep if we can. It was an afterthought. It was an afterthought, So I just, and Tony changed the culture, but what does it look like post-Tony Vitello, I think is a very real question. And I like Josh Elander. I say that as someone who likes Josh Elander and thinks he's a good coach. Hey, you talk about the fall of South Carolina baseball. That's probably who they should have hired. That's who they should have hired. So more on that in a second, guys, because, again, we are going to talk head coaching rankings on the diamond here shortly. But first, really fun segment I'm excited about, guys. We're back in Nashville, like I mentioned. Probably going to be a fun weekend, as most of them are. A lot of fun spots to go out in Nashville. So, without further ado, these are my top 5 Nashville bars right now. Emphasis on the right now. This list can obviously change as you discover new places or you just start to catch a vibe somewhere else. These are my top 5 Nashville bars right now. Essentially, you could think of this. These are the top 5 spots me and my buddies like to go catch a little motion at. If you know, you know. At number 5, I'm going to start with a local neighborhood spot, Mother's Ruin. Mother's Ruin in Germantown. Really fun spot. Love the vibes in there. I actually went to the Mother's Ruin in Austin when I visited and went to the Texas-Arkansas game of the football season. They've got locations in Austin, Nashville, Chicago, and New York City. Obviously, the one here in Nashville. Love the setup. Really cool. Almost kind of a speakeasy vibe in there a little bit, but it also gets pretty rowdy and get ratchet at times. Great pregame spot. Food is super, super underrated. Their food absolutely smacks. 5 for me is Mother's Ruin in Germantown. At number 4, I've got Lakeside Lounge in East Nashville. Really, really fun spot. The Frosty beer is one you have to try. Absolutely fantastic light beer. They've got pool. They've got darts. Just a really fun dive bar feel. Also, the merch they have. You wouldn't think it, but the merch, absolute gas. So Lakeside Lounge is always a really fun vibe. Really fun late night spot as well. Lakeside Lounge, number 4 for me. At number 3, we're getting a little more bougie now. Pushing Daisies, just off of Broadway. It is the best espresso martini and the best old fashioned that I've had in the city of Nashville. Their drinks are just phenomenal. I mean, they're pricey. You're gonna spend a little bit now, but the drinks are phenomenal. The vibe in there, the little underground vibe, really cool. They've always got a DJ that's popping. You go in there and just catch a vibe. You know what I mean? I don't know that you spend all night at Pushing Daisies. You certainly could, but it's a fun place to go in, have a few cocktails, hang out, have some good conversation. Again, you're going to have elite drinks when you go in there. Really, really fun spot. So Pushing Daisies, number 3 for me. And number 2, here's where we get a little rowdy. At number 2, I got Morgan Wallen's This Bar. Yes, sometimes the boys like to switch it up, go down to Broadway, catch a little motion, and Morgan Wallen's tends to be the place that we find ourselves. We do know one of the bartenders there. Shout out to Cass, who always hooks us up. But, yeah, it's a fun time. You've got multiple levels. Level 1, you've got the live music portion, more of your traditional country music, what you'd expect on Broadway. I believe it's level 3. Maybe it's level 4. You've got your DJ. That DJ, when it's on, it is on. The boys will be in there all night long. When we go to Broadway, that's the place that we stop, man. Morgan Wallen's This Bar, really, really good spot. Obviously, a lot of tourists love it, but you'd be surprised how many locals frequent that place as well. That includes me and my homies. So, number 2, Morgan Wallen's This Bar. And at number 1, Don't judge me for this one. This is a spot we have gotten to a point where we know the band pretty well. They love to take our music requests, and we love to give them out. It's fun to go out and essentially feel like you're kind of controlling the music. The vibes are elite. It feels like, imagine you are in the basement of your favorite high school party. Like, that's kind of what it takes you back to a little bit. Losers in Midtown. Losers in Midtown. The live music is always hitting. There's a number of different Midtown bars I could have put here, but Losers is a place that lately, at least, we have been frequenting a ton. And again, a lot of it, our homies that are in the band, shout out to y'all, man. Always taking the requests, always playing. We love to request some 2000s country, late 90s country. They love to play it, and it leads to a really, really fun night. So Losers for me and for us, number one right now. So again, my top 5 Nashville bars as of right now, where the boys are catching motion: 5 Mother's Ruin, 4 Lakeside Lounge, 3 Pushing Daisies, 2 Morgan Wallen's This Bar, number 1 Losers in Midtown. All elite spots. And again, there are so many dope bars in the city, but those are my top 5 as of right now. List subject to change as we continue this Nashville experience. So I feel like I just kind of gave away where you can find me, but yeah, those are the. Please don't come looking for me. That was not an invitation for anybody out there to come to Nashville and come looking for me if you don't like something I said about your team or what have you. But that is where the boys are catching motion. I mean, it's typically, honorable mention. I guess I could have thrown an LA Jackson in there, but we don't frequent that enough to really put it on the list. I see my guy Cam Irvine in here. City boy, did I forget anything? Did I forget a spot, Cam? I don't feel like I did. I mean, like I said, unless, like, I don't even think, I thought about putting like a Red Door. I don't really feel like you catch motion at Red Door, though. You kind of just chill at Red Door. Odie's kind of the same thing. Losers, you catch motion. Losers, you absolutely catch motion. So that's really what this list was. Top 5 bars that me and the homies catch motion at. And again, if you don't know what catch motion is, I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember when Gucci Mane said, when they asked him about the sauce, and he's like, he's like, without the sauce, you lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce. It's kind of like motion. You either have motion or you don't. And well, if you don't, then you don't know. So, yeah, it's kind of like the sauce. You have too much sauce, you can get lost in the sauce. Again, I can't think of any other bars. Well, again, Cam, we don't catch motion at Barstool like that. We don't really frequent Barstool like that. Again, I'm trying to think of any others I might have missed. I really don't think I missed any. I do not think I missed any that we go to with consistency. I don't think I missed any that we go to with consistency. Again, LA Jackson was a recent visit, but that was only the second time I'd ever been there ever. I mean, hell, we catch more motion at Jack Brown's than probably any of the places I mentioned. That place, it just never misses. It never misses. It never misses. You have to tip your cap. It never misses. No, yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it. So, yeah, really good time. Eric says Tootsie's. We don't really go to Tootsie. I can't tell you the last time I went to Tootsie's. Great, it's a cool spot. Again, we don't go to Broadway as much as you would think. But every now and then here's the thing. The thing with Broadway is this. People will tell you locals don't go to Broadway. Bullshit. They do. Locals go to Broadway here. That's an urban myth. I think the deal is this. They don't want you to know that they go. They do go. They don't want you to know that they go. And they certainly don't want you to know that they like going. Oh God, no. You don't want people to know I like going to Broadway. I'm willing to embrace it. It is a good time. It's fun to go because when in doubt, you know you're going to have a blast. You're not going to go down there. If you're in the right frame of mind, you are going to have a good time. You are. You're going to have a good time down there. So, but we don't frequent it enough. Like, again, I haven't been to Tootsie's in a long time. If I had to pick another Broadway spot, probably Posties at this point. Probably. Posties has surged up the leaderboard for us here recently. Eric says, how's the new stadium looking so far? Looks great. Yeah, it looks great. I think it should be done soon. Yeah, I say soon. I mean, within the next year, obviously. It looks dope. It looks really dope. Going up right next to the old Titan Stadium. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. I know tickets for the games are going to be outrageous, but it is what it is. So, all right, guys, we're going to move into this segment. Really, really exciting, really, really fun here because it is that time of the year. We sit just a week away from opening day. A week away from opening day. One of my favorite segments every single year before the season gets going. And you'll notice this list obviously changes, right? We have new information. Coaches win titles. We get new coaches in the league. These are my 2026 SEC baseball head coach rankings. A lot of you are on the edge of your seat. Without further ado, let's pull up each of my selections. For those of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, you are seeing these on your screen. For those of you listening via podcast, buckle up because here we go. At number 16, I've got Tennessee's Josh Elander. Listen, do I think Josh Elander finishes at 16? No, I do not. But here's the reality. He's never been a head coach before. It's kind of like Michael Early last year. We had him at 16. Why did we have him at 16, guys? Well, because he had never been a head coach. How can I say Josh Elander is better than a guy who's been a head coach and has won games in the league? I know Tennessee fans are going to want to bite my head off over this, but it's where he belongs, guys. Josh Elander belongs at number 16 for now. He's not going to stay down there very long. He's not. This is not an indictment on Josh Elander by any means, but he has to be there. He has to be there right now. Please understand the logic and the reasoning. And again, understand, guys, that by season's end, as much as I think Tennessee's going to take a step back, Josh Elander, I think at minimum, is going to be a middle-of-the-pack head coach in this league. And listen, there's a number of coaches ahead of him that I would rather have Josh Elander be my head coach right now than that coach, but simply because he has not coached a game, you got to put him at 16. At number 15, I've got Texas A&M's Michael Early. I mean, listen, guys, I could have put Mike Early at 16. And I'd rather have Josh Elander right now than Michael Early because the sample size for Michael Early is such as this. And you notice he's behind a Carrick Jackson. More on that in a second. But I'd rather, with Michael Early, all I know about Michael Early, and I get it, man, injuries, I totally understand. But Michael Early took one of the most talented rosters in all of college baseball and torpedoed it into oblivion. Straight up to, I mean, like, here's the thing. Yeah, the injuries helped derail that season, but it was going off the tracks well before some of these injuries started to pile up. So Michael Early has proven nothing. Michael Early has not proven he is better than the 15th best coach in this league, in my opinion. And obviously, again, this 2026 season is a make or break year. If they miss the postseason again, I do think Michael Early is going to be out of College Station. At number 14, guys, I got Missouri's Carrick Jackson. Listen, I put Carrick Jackson ahead of Michael Early. Again, Carrick Jackson there's no coach in a more difficult position than Carrick Jackson right now because Mizzou is the one school in the SEC who does not give a damn about baseball. That being said, I think Carrick Jackson is a good coach. Listen, at some point, you have to win games. At some point, you have to win games, and I totally understand that. But I have grace for Carrick Jackson because he's just in such a difficult situation in Como. At number 13, I got South Carolina's Paul Mainieri. Guys, listen, the only thing that keeps Paul Mainieri out of like the 15 or 16 slot is that he's won a national title at some point in his career. The guy's washed. In my opinion, Paul Mainieri's washed. I think he was truly nothing short of a favor done by Ray Tanner. Ray Tanner did his buddy Paul Mainieri a favor and gave him that job at South Carolina when there was a laundry list of candidates more qualified than him. That is simply put the reality. Paul Mainieri at South Carolina, What are they going to be this year? I think they're probably, again, going to be one of the worst teams in the SEC. You brought him in for a quick turnaround. I certainly don't think you're going to get that. I think you've got to cut ties with him after this season. If it goes the way they've been picked, if it goes the way that it's predicted, like if they miss the postseason, you can't just continue. Like Paul Mainieri is getting no younger. And again, guys, people are going to say, well, Chris, he won a national title. Yeah, in 2009, bro. We're almost 20 years removed from him winning a national title. If you miss the postseason this year, if you don't see real progression, which again, I don't know how you progress, you got to cut ties with Paul Mainieri again. His natty in 2009 has him 13th, but realistically, I'd probably take every coach below him before I'd take Paul Mainieri at this point. At number 12, I got Alabama's Rob Vaughn. Now, I want to take a moment to say this because people will say, man, ranking the top 3 or 4 or 5 coaches has got to be really difficult. It's really ranking like 8 through 16 because like putting somebody like Rob Vaughn at 12, who I think is a hell of a coach, but somebody's got to be 12. Somebody just has to be 12. So Rob Vaughn, I like what he's done at Alabama. I think he's making Alabama baseball. I think he's making baseball a priority at Alabama. I really do. I think he's done a great job of retaining talent there and getting people to invest. He's kept Justin LeBron on campus the past couple of years. This might be his most talented team in Tuscaloosa because, like, listen, guys, there's no reason why Alabama can't be good at baseball. Baseball is a very what you put in is what you get out sport. It just flat out is. And so Rob Vaughn's having to compete with obviously football, but basketball as well. And he's continuously year after year putting a very competitive product on the field, getting into the postseason. I think Bama's a job where as long as you're getting to the postseason every year, you got a job essentially as long as you want it. So Rob Vaughn at 12. At number 11, guys, I've got Georgia's Wes Johnson. Again, feels crazy to have Wes Johnson this low. The big thing I think with Wes Johnson, he's got to prove to me that he can field a pitching staff that can complement what he's got swinging the stick, which is crazy to say because Wes Johnson's a pitching guy. But this is a big year for him, I think. It's time for the pitching staff to take a step forward in Athens and complement what they've got offensively. So I like Wes Johnson as a coach. Again, I think he's done a great job at Georgia. Like Georgia's another baseball program where it's like football is very obviously the number one sport. Basketball and, I think baseball's too, but for a while it was just kind of like, it was just football and then everything else. He has made Georgia, they're a top 10 baseball program as far as the rankings go now. He has turned Georgia into that. There's no excuse why Georgia is not a good baseball program. He has done that essentially. Obviously, offensively, they've been elite. Can he get the pitching going? That is the big question mark, which is crazy to say. At number 10, I've got Auburn's Butch Thompson. Again, guys, this feels criminally low. This feels criminally low for Butch Thompson, but somebody's got to be 10. What he's done there, again, at a school that I don't know any of us would label a baseball school. Football's priority. Basketball's been elite. Baseball's just kind of there. Again, I think Auburn's starting to invest more and more in the baseball program, but Butch Thompson's one of the SEC's best. Really, guys, you could shuffle 8 through 12 in any order, and I wouldn't really fight you on it. I really wouldn't. 8 through 12 was probably where I had the most difficulty when it came to ranking coaches. But Butch Thompson got another really good club this year, has done a great job at Auburn. Again, he's had so much more success than people really give appreciation to. So Butch Thompson at 10 continues to build a great program down on the Plains. Number 9, I've got Kentucky's Nick Mingione again, another coach you could put higher. What he's done at Kentucky, is just phenomenal. It is. He has brought a certain style to Lexington. They have embraced it. They know who they are, and he's gotten that program to a place where year in, year out, postseason's the expectation. And you think back about 6-7 years before the Mingione era, and you think about that, and you think about where Kentucky is now. Again, guys, Kentucky used to be one of those series where you're like, oh, we got Kentucky, easy series win, if not a sweep. Now, dude, watch out for Kentucky this year. They're going to be very, very good. Nick Mingione, one of the best coaches in this league, and it's a team you hate playing against because of his style, because of the way he coaches. He's done a fantastic job with that program. Number 8, I've got Oklahoma's Skip Johnson. This is another one. This guy does not get the love and appreciation that he deserves. You think back to 2022, he took the Oklahoma Sooners all the way to the finals, right? Last year, Oklahoma was a team, obviously had to go on the road for the postseason. A little bit of a rocky first year in the SEC, but all in all, I'd say solid. This year's really going to test them. I will say this year is going to test Oklahoma, but I think Skip Johnson, again, what he's done at a school that, guys, let's face it, hey, not only do they have football's their priority, but he's got to deal with softball. How many of these other coaches have to deal with softball being as good as they are? And softball taking away the attention, the resources, what have you. No disrespect to him, but that is a real obstacle that Skip Johnson has to deal with. So Skip Johnson, I think, again, a very, very underrated coach in this league. I've got him at number 8. And number 7, this is where it starts to get really, really interesting, because at number 7, I've got Mike Bianco. And I know that my guy, Matt, and I disagree on this. My guy Chinook and I disagree on this. He would have Mike Bianco higher. I understand Mike Bianco won a national championship. I totally get that. I do. But they were the last team in, and it took kind of a miracle run for them to get there. And I get it. He put those pieces in place. He orchestrated that run as the head coach. But what is Mike Bianco without one magical run in 2022? I mean, he's a good coach. He's a damn good coach. He's a damn good coach. Don't get it twisted. 7 was where, because, and I think here's the other thing. I think Mike Bianco is near the end of his tenure. Like, if you told me this was his last year, I would not be stunned. And so I think for that reason, the 6 guys ahead of him, there's a little bit more longevity. I just have a little bit more faith and trust in these guys. I got to be totally honest with you. Obviously, I think there's some ahead of him that are a little bit more accomplished. But, like, the 6 guys ahead of Mike Bianco have a better shot of winning a national title moving forward than he does, in my opinion. That's where a lot of it comes from. Bianco's a hell of a coach. Hell of a coach. I think he's getting towards the end of his career. I think he's getting a little past his prime, if I'm being totally honest with you. At number 6, I've got Texas's Jim Schlossnagle, and I already saw somebody in the comments complaining about this one. I think 6 is very fair for Schloss. I do. He's dude, listen, Schloss is a fantastic baseball coach. All he does is win. You can think whatever you want to think about the guy. You can think about whatever you want to think about his character and what have you. Hell of a baseball coach. Hell of a baseball coach. All he does is win. Now, he hasn't won the big one. He very well might this year, but all he does is win. I mean, hell, they won the league last year. So, again, there's only one guy ahead of him that has not won a national title. And I would say that one guy who's one spot ahead of him that we're going to talk about in just a second, I'd say is more accomplished than Schloss. I would. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think that's a hot take. Schloss is a hell of a coach. If he wants to really bump up the list and go from 6 to, say, 2 or 3 or 4, you got to win the big one. You got to go to Omaha and win the College World Series. You got to do that because a lot of your peers ahead of you have done that. Now, number 5, I got Arkansas's Dave Van Horn. Again, I think Dave Van Horn is a more accomplished head coach than Jim Schlossnagle. They are both very accomplished. They are both great coaches. But I think Dave Van Horn, think about it, guys. He's done it for longer at a higher level in the SEC than Jim Schlossnagle. That alone gives him the nod. Now, speaking of winning the big one, is Dave Van Horn and the Omahogs, where's my guy Chinook at? Are the Omahogs, are they ever going to get over the hump? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Every year we say, well, I mean, it's only a matter of time. This has got to be the year Dave Van Horn wins one. You sure? You sure? I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that that's fact. He might not win one, which is a damn shame. And I agree with, if you listen to Kyle Peterson, my combo with him, he said that if you could give true serum to every coach and ask him if you can't win it, who would you like to see win it? They'd all say Dave Van Horn in Arkansas because of the respect they've got for him as a coach. And you'd love to see somebody that has gotten that close finally break through and win one. I know I don't speak for everyone when I say that. Certainly not you LSU or you Mississippi State fans out there. But no, that's the only thing missing from his resume. Outside of that, guys, Dave Van Horn is a Hall of Fame baseball coach, one of the best in the business. And number 4, I've got Vanderbilt's Tim Corbin. I will say this. If you want to put DVH ahead of Tim Corbin right now, I'll listen. I felt like Corbs had to be ahead of him because he has won national championships. That has to mean something, right? You've won the big game. This is a big year for Corbs. It's a big year. This dude can still coach. They were the number 1 national seed last year. It's time to get out of your own regional, though. It's time to get out of your own regional, right? You move the right field fence in. The offense has got to get better. You have been near the bottom of college baseball in most offensive categories. You have got to get better offensively. That has become your calling card, Tim Corbin and Vandy. You can't hit. You can pitch, but you can't hit. Can they hit this year? Can they get out of the regional? That being said, Corbs is one of the legends of the game, multiple national titles. Easy number 4 for me. At number 3, very rarely do you have a first-year head coach this high. When that head coach is Brian O'Connor at Mississippi State, he deserves to be this high. Brian O'Connor is a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame resume, Hall of Fame career at Mississippi State, at Virginia. Now he brings it over to Mississippi State, and I think he's going to win, and I think he's going to win big. Now, listen, I'm not quite as high on State in year 1 as some others. I did not have them in my Omaha 8. I think it's asking a lot for a first-year head coach, but they are going to be much improved. I would fully expect Mississippi State to host a regional. I think they are going to be a really, really good club, probably finish top half of the league, no doubt. They're going to take a major step forward. And in the long term, I'd bank on Brian O'Connor winning a national title at State, because maybe outside of LSU, I don't know how competitive with LSU it is, but I'll just say on the State side, like the way they're funding the baseball program, it's as competitive as any, and they're going to give him everything he needs. State is the one school in the SEC where I think they look at baseball as this is our number 1 sport. And again, guys, baseball is a very what you get out, what you put in is what you get out. And Mississippi State's going to give him everything, and he's already a great head coach. So number 3 for me for Brian O'Connor. And number 2, we've got a flip from last year's rankings, if you don't notice. At number 2, I've got Florida's Kevin O'Sullivan. Kevin O'Sullivan, guys, still one of the best in the game. I know it was a tumultuous offseason for Sully, but let's not forget, they go to Omaha basically 50% of the time. I don't think people in Gainesville, I don't think SEC fans, I don't think they really appreciate how great the Florida program has been under Kevin O'Sullivan. Again, I know it was a tumultuous offseason. That's what everybody wants to talk about. I can assure y'all it's a non-factor going in the season. He's going to serve his suspension opening weekend, and he's going to be in the dugout in the midweek, and we're not even going to care or remember that any of this shit even happened, and we're going to go throughout the season. And I think Florida is going to have a big season. Now, this is a big year for Sully. They've had back-to-back lackluster regular seasons. They did make Omaha in 2024, but again, they were one of the last teams, if not the last team in the field. They need to get back to being Florida in the regular season. That being said, this dude's still one of the best coaches in college baseball, won the national title back in 2017, beating the LSU Tigers, by the way. Won that natty back in 2017. Again, they're a 50-50 shot to go to Omaha. He's 9-1 in super regionals, guys. I mean, it speaks for itself. In my opinion, the resume truly speaks for itself. But at number 1, and this was a man I did not have number 1 last year, believe it or not. But at number 1, and when you've won 2 of the last 3 national championships and you are the reigning national champions, I don't even know there's an argument here. It is Jay Johnson of LSU. LSU's Jay Johnson has established himself as the best coach in college baseball. Now, listen, to play devil's advocate, or at least to address the folks that are going to do so, I get it. He has more resources than anybody in college baseball. That helps. Jay Johnson asks LSU delivers. There's no price tag too high. There's no demand too outrageous. Jay Johnson's going to get what Jay Johnson wants, flat out. But when you're turning all that into national championships, you can do that. And you got to give him a lot of credit. I thought that was probably one of the most underappreciated parts of what took place last year when they won it all. That was a hell of a coaching job by Jay Johnson, because that team was a fantastic ball club, but they were not perfect. They were not perfect. The buttons that Jay Johnson pushed, again, very underrated, the buttons he pushed to make that run happen. For example, leaving Michael Braswell in the lineup despite his struggle swinging the stick. Putting in Dalton Beck, pinch hitting him late in a game against Tennessee when there was no reason to do so. The kid I don't think had an at-bat. He delivers with a single at the middle. LSU wins that game. Like, there were just so many moments. Hey, being willing to be wrong. Putting Bear Jones at third base, him making a bunch of errors, and you losing a midweek game, but not caring because it needed to be done to make a point and to prove, hey, I need to know what we can and cannot do for down the road. It's not about winning that midweek game. It's about winning the national championship. You got to give Jay Johnson tons of credit for, yes, he's an elite talent evaluator. He's an elite recruiter. He brings in the best players in the country. But the way he arranges the puzzle pieces and the way he pushes the right buttons, he's the best coach in college baseball. And I mean, I think obviously what has happened over the last 3 years, winning 2 of the last 3 national championships, this season's going to be interesting. Do they go back-to-back? Do they miss Omaha like I predicted, which is not an indictment of how I think they're going to be this year? It's just, you can be really damn good and still miss Omaha. It's possible. I know it's crazy, but it is possible. We have one set of data when it comes to Jay Johnson the season after winning a natty. They struggled. They had by LSU standards, they had a bad year. What does 2026 have in store? This team is much different. This team is much better per every LSU fan I've talked to. Hell, people are telling me this team's better than last year. Well, damn it, if this team's better than last year, you better go win the SEC. If this team's better than last year, you're right. Anything short of Omaha is a failure. So, Jay Johnson, he's in the best situation, has one of the toughest jobs because LSU fans' expectations aren't going anywhere. But again, my top 6 team, my head coach rankings entering opening day: 16, Josh Elander; 15, Michael Early; 14, Carrick Jackson; 13, Paul Maneri; 12, Rob Vaughn; 11, Wes Johnson; 10, Butch Thompson; 9, Nick Mingione; 8, Skip Johnson; 7, Mike Bianco; 6, Jim Schlossnagel; 5, Dave Van Horn; 4, Tim Corbin; 3, Brian O'Connor; 2, Kevin O'Sullivan; and number 1, Jay Johnson of LSU. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you agree with me, disagree, how would you rank the coaches of the SEC on the diamond? So, guys, we got a few more minutes here. We're going to close it out. Again, guys, I think LSU, I can't say it enough times, I think LSU is going to be a fantastic club this year. We got Randy. Randy Etheridge says Schloss at 6 is dumb. He won the league with an inferior team last year. We shall see what he does this year with a deeper squad and pitching. He took raggedy-ass A&M to the brink of a natty. Stop it. I don't think 6 is an insult to Schloss, Randy. I think 6 is right where he belongs. Again, okay, Randy, we'll play this game. You could put him at 5. I'm not putting him above anybody that's won a national championship. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting him ahead of the guys who have won national titles. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. You go win the big one, you'll move up. But when you're starting to compare those guys, the elites of the elites, brother, you gotta win. You gotta win a ring. And listen, winning the SEC is great. It is. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. But it don't really mean shit in the grand scheme of things. I hate to tell you. I hate to tell you, it don't really mean shit in the grand scheme of things. So, yeah. Chinook. Paul, question mark. What about Paul? Oh, Chinook says, what's their rank based on height, shortest to tallest? Jay might be the shortest. That's what I'd love to know. Who's the tallest coach in the SEC? Because Jay's a midget. Can we say that on air? I hope so. Jay's a short fellow. Jay is a short fellow. He's a tiny dude. And he's listen, I don't know what it is about LSU coaches, short LSU coaches, Nick Saban and Jay Johnson both, that'll strike the fear of God in you. They'll strike the fear of God in you. Even being, tiny as they are, 5'6". He's a short dude, man. Let's see. Nick Mingione. I do not have a height listed for Nick Mingione. You'd think they'd put it on their roster. No height listed for Nick Mingione. I don't know. Who is the tallest coach in the SEC? I have no idea. Carrick Jackson? I don't know. It's a great question. Chinook, you get on that research and you let me know what your findings tell you. All right, guys, on that note, we're going to get out of here. Really fun hour or so with you guys. I really appreciate the love, the support. The Chris Phillips Show has been a massive success at this point. I'm really enjoying it, guys. I'm having more fun than I've ever had, and a lot of that's got to do with you all, your love, your support. I tell you guys, I love what we're doing right now from a standpoint of content. I love the show lineup that we have. It has, again, it's brought a level of structure to what we do, but not too much, where it's like, it still feels very random, very different. We're having a lot of fun doing it. So again, guys, I can't say thank you enough. Like I said, stay tuned early next week. We will have these podcast feeds. We'll start distributing all of these shows on their own podcast feeds. I will let you guys know when that is finalized. Outside of that, yeah, my guy Phil, Daily Crow vibes. Isn't it wild? Daily Crow vibes for sure. Outside of that, though, yeah, Glue Guys is back on Monday. Hey, Monday's Glue Guys, big one. You're going to want to tune into this one because we are talking predicted order of finish in the SEC, and essentially it serves as our big season preview show for the SEC. You are definitely going to want to check that one out. We've also got Chewing Clock on Monday, so that's the next time you will hear from us. So, good stuff. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic Super Bowl Sunday. Whatever you do, stay safe, of course. Don't drink and drive. It's not cool. It's not cool to do that. Don't do that. Just get an Uber. It's 2026. Just get an Uber. Outside of that, it is above 50 degrees for the first time in Nashville, and God knows how long. If you can't tell by my attire, I'm about to go hit the golf course. We're going to go bang some balls around, might even smoke a cigar, get our weekend started off on a high note. So I'm going to go do that. Y'all go do whatever you like. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your Super Bowl. Hey, enjoy your final weekend without college baseball because we are 1 week away. God, I can't wait for this show in a week. This show in a week is going to hit, and I'm going to have this TV going, and we're going to be – hey, it's almost like 2 Friday Night Spikes in one. It's almost like 2 Friday Night Spikes in one. On that note, Friday Night Spikes returning a week from today. We'll have an announcement later on social media. In the meantime, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Check us out via all your favorite, wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Your favorite social media platforms, of course, and our website, secunfiltered.com. Till next time, I'm Chris Phillips. This is the Chris Phillips Show. We appreciate you all tuning in. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll talk to you all on Monday. Cheers.